After 6 years, it's time? Oh, wait, sorry. Hi. This is, Orchard in Place. And today I'm going to be talking about a character that I actually have been talking about ever since. The character that's been stuck in my head ever since those 6 years. And now I'm giving it all for you guys to listen to. I mean, I know I had this character stuck in my head ever since, but if you all are aware, I have talked about this individual and made an entire series out of it. But I thought it would be time to go ahead and discuss the character actually, fully, and precisely. So with it, let's get to the story of the corrupted square. Going back in time, we got to our very first ever design of a character known as the corrupted square. I have actually found an image of this a long time ago, back in 2018, where he had this spiky shape and he started corrupting the three other shapes in one of the images. I have proven this is a shocking tale. So, about the image, there is something I like to discuss. A horrifying reason it scares me. Sadly, I don't have the higher quality of this image, so if you want to know, this is the first thing I saw in the image. If you already know, this is a drawing of him standing, posing, doing that pose, and sort of stuff like that. Noticeably, in the end of it, we get to see him draw a smile on his face, which could have mean that this is how we all got a character that noticeably became the jack-o'-lantern of JSAB. He told them to keep smiling because he didn't want to see their sad and depressing looking faces. He does get angry when he said "how dare you." I believe he gets angry because if he was hit or attacked, he gets mad and he fights back. Mostly. Though look at his claws, man! They are so goated! Sorry, I didn't mean to do that part. Anyways, moving forward to the next image is the image where he corrupted a victim, that being one of the victims that went left alone and depressed. This is Star. He is a shy and noticeable character, and he does say some depressing things like, "I'm not good. Useless. Useless little Star. Everything I do is useless. Why am I useless? Eventually everybody will leave me and boredom." Yeah, he's just a depressed little Star. But then something stoked him. "You are beautiful, but you will become more beautiful once you dyed in pink." It does sound like a poem, but you are totally wrong. After being alone, he was corrupted by that square. He was given a new form, a new color of sorts, and yet he says this. Too cute. After he was corrupted, he gave him some treatment, good care, and also has been doing some crazy stuff with him, like sneaking up to another friend of theirs. Silly enough, this dialogue really caught my eye where he said, "Want to get him back? Come and get it!" That is pretty playful of him to do, I guess. But right after this, the same exact corrupted soul of his own has went and corrupted others. Which, I'm not kidding, but he went to capture the other victims! Those victims are Heart, Aqua, sometimes other victims likely. We don't know who, but we'll get to the stories later. But it made me want to question, how did this thing got corrupted anyway? And why am I making this video? Well, I got the answer for my viewers. Turns out, you probably already get the answer. He wasn't actually corrupted by a person, but something else rather. He went outside and took a break, and mostly there is something that just happened recently. He turned around to hear a person scream for help. A person screaming for help at the nearby ocean at the below. It was the same ocean as how he was building a boat there. He decided to look down to hear who the voice was coming from, but to no avail. He heard nothing, and he was confused. But an unknown ghost spoke, scaring the poor square into literally falling down into literally entering the depths into the ocean. And so, it was too late. He fell. And there was no trace of him after this. But after he fell, he just got out of the ocean by just climbing all the way back to the top. After one fateful day. Wait, stop! How about we just get to the new era, okay? The year is now 2019, the last year of the 2010s era. During that year, the creator has deleted all of the artworks of ctyh, except for the collab image. That was the only thing that's left there. Though, we do have some changes. Mostly the creator has announced a newer and improved version of this character. And he has more friends than one. I didn't show you this one, but this was one of his friends named Trey. The corrupted version of Trey looks like this, basically. Corrupted version of Circle, and Pentagon. Oh, and don't forget I have one more. The newer version or upgraded version of ctyh just looks like this, basically. He was given an anime boy upgrade, which makes me understand why the creator wanted to give some changes to the characters. Oh, by the way, they do have a chibi form. This might be their cuter versions of themselves. I didn't even notice that the creator could come up with some ideas of making cuter versions of scary things like corrupted characters. And at that one time, I saw this image that, yeah, it was pretty silly, where he said this. "It seems we got ourselves some lost sheep, sir." That is the silliest thing I can ever see in the image. But wait, I almost forgot one. In one of the images called Bad End, the characters will corrupt you. Oh, yeah, I forgot about... Wait, what?! Well, in the end, after they did their work, you're now in their control. But it's not a reality yet, so... sorry, guys. Anyways, that year already ended with the 2020s, and yet we already get some really good stuff. You know, the good stuff that wixlyn draws. But during 2022, the creator has left and hasn't done anything new in a long time. So now, it's time for the future, where I made a new version and released it a character named Sefuke Sako. The year was 2023. I released it a series. Along with it, I announced a new character known as Sefuke Sako, who is the human version of the corrupted square. And if you don't know, basically Sefuke Sako is the human counterpart of the character that we all saw. Mostly what he does in his human form is different to his previous one. Instead, he was given a lovey-dovey approach. He gets in love with a person who is a lonely soul, and yet he even gets twisted into literally corrupting a human being. I began this series since October 1st, where he started off as a normal shape, corrupted, and then he started to corrupt the others. It is a very scary series in my opinion. More so, it takes place in a human realm. It's just for the story, and it's for the premise of how it goes. I want to thank Fanime Station for putting this series in, since it was such a miracle to have this series and make it. Though this may be my first ever attempt of making a scary fanime, but it doesn't involve any blood or gore, just corruption. And maybe this might be my very first ever attempt at making a fanime that involves corruption and dark themes of literally just horror elements. But in the end of the day, this can be the only thing I can make and end it with just episode 6. I did allow their fans to use this character and make stories of them getting corrupted by this thing, if that's a good idea or bad idea. And though, it's all I can do basically. But now, that's all for this video. This may be my first time I ever made a video explaining the story of this character from 2018 to now. And as I actually got to explain, yeah, he's probably just one dark entity who turned into a human being and did more horrible things. The credits to the artworks I shown in this video are made by wixlyn. And I hope that wixlyn, if you're watching this, thank you, because I mean, I would have ever talked about this character even though no one else has ever heard of it, but hey, this is my first time. Maybe now this should just be everything I can do, and that would be everything for now at least. So for that, I'll end this video right here by just stepping at the park and wait for someone to